Well, we've been talking taxes today, but one area of the economy that is still struggling is the housing market. The current policy has been to help struggling homeowners, so why is the Deficit Commission trying to change all that? Let's ask Greg Rand from Rand Realty. What we're talking about here is, I want to get to taxes in a little bit, but this specifically is the mortgage interest deduction.
Right.
They're actually bringing the ceiling down so fewer people will be able to take advantage of this.
Right. In the short term, it's obviously not helping. I mean, over the last couple of years, it's all been about helping troubled homeowners. And now all of a sudden, they're going to increase taxes on troubled homeowners that have big mortgages. So there's a flailing going on with respect to government policy and housing. And if you think about what's happening on the coasts, I mean, the hardest hit markets around the country in foreclosure crisis are Southern California, Arizona, Nevada, Southern Florida. And there's a lot of people who the last thing they need right now is an increase in their taxes with respect to their mortgages. Not going to help.
Okay, but the higher income people are already seeing limitations on the amount they could deduct anyway, because your itemized deductions are limited by your total adjusted gross income, right? So there's that angle. They're not getting the full amount. Many of them have refinanced down, so their interest rate is much lower, so their deduction, therefore, is much smaller than it ever was because they're only paying 4% and change on it. So
it has no impact on the housing market long term or even midterm. It has no impact.
That's what I mean.
People
So
are
I
buying
think we're
houses
making a
because they want
very
houses.
big deal about this for nothing, and it might be something. We got to start cutting somewhere. It might not be a terrible place to start.
I think the big deal that's being made, obviously the industry makes a big deal because they don't want to see anything affect the back pocket. But the idea that for the better part of the last 10 years, we've had one government interference after another. They took Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and turned them into loan companies that made loans that they knew weren't going to be paid back. Now they're restricting lenders from foreclosing on properties. They're trying to stop mortgage or trying to reduce pain on people with high mortgage payments with mortgage modifications. And the impact is they're increasing mortgage defaults by encouraging people to stop making their payments. So we hate seeing the flailing. It's like if you don't get it, if you don't know what you're doing, just don't do anything, please, because the housing market is like the tide. There can be a hurricane on the surface. It's not going to change the fact that once the prices finally bottom out and the economy turns around, the market recovers.
So the question becomes this. The tax cuts that we've got now, or that we're going to get, it looks like, does it help? Does it hurt? And what kind of time frame?
The tax rates being extended?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think when it comes to real estate, I'm talking about entrepreneurship overall. I think we're in a place right now where I feel a sense of optimism, and I'm getting it from people who run mid-sized businesses around the country.
So you say it helps?
I think it helps. Net helps, and not the uncertainty of the taxes going up was part of an overall uncertainty of what are they going to do next? You know, we've had a target on our back for the last couple of years. You've got a distinct impression that if you're a prosperous business owner, you're resented by the people in power. And we yanked on the leash back in November, and that yanking on the leash, the sense that we actually took control of the government, and this is our first act in power, was to extend the tax cuts. The sense, like I'm making a call for business owners out there, if you have money on the sidelines, put it to work, because we'd like to be able to show that businesses are the ones that create, growth.
Always good to get your take on it. Good to see you, Greg.
Thank you.